welcome to Blossom. What are you doing already? Like, come on, Blossom. Anyway, good morning. How are we? Welcome to the first. It is Tuesday, the 22nd of, Tuesday, the 22nd of April. Welcome to the first live of the week. Obviously, it's Bank Holiday Monday yesterday. I've not called it a new weight loss week because yesterday was technically a new weight loss week, even though you might have had a few higher calorie days. I'll talk about that. The dogs just decided to, I don't know, mess about. Anyway, yeah, it is. I've not called it a new weight loss week, but today might be a new weight loss week for you. If you didn't, if you might have had a bit more of a higher calorie day yesterday. But like I say, it's still part of the week. I had a bit of a higher calorie day yesterday. We'll talk about that shortly. But yeah, yesterday was a new weight loss week. But anyway, we're back at it. We're back in the zone. If you didn't track yesterday, if you did still sort of treat it as Easter week, I had a day off for whatever reason. Blossom, what are you doing there? Stop messing about. You've got to get back at it today. Anyway, there we go. Did you all have a good Easter weekend? What were you up to? Did you have have you enjoyed some nice Easter eggs? Have you had a bit of food freedom? Have you just treated it like a normal weekend? Have you had no plans, or you might have been working all weekend or something like that? Let me know. Oh, let me get the chat box up on YouTube. There's only one person on YouTube. Anyway, right, let's go through the top five. First top five, post-Easter top five of the week on TikTok. Let's see who's in. Faye's in at number one. Carol's in at number two. Kelly's in at number three. Steph GC's in at number four. And Mama Bet is at number five. Good morning, guys. As always, thank you very much for jumping straight on the live, coming and saying hello. Stefan's in. Good morning, mate. And Donna and Sheila and Lise. Good morning. Amy, James Rizzi. Good morning. Kate Heth, Caroline. Good morning. Oh, everyone's in this one. Everyone's like, I need to get some inspiration. I need to get some focus back for the week ahead. Dan, good morning, mate. Shaw's Journey. Good morning. And Laura and Paula. Steph, don't worry, I was on it yesterday, 31,000 steps. Oh, 31,000 steps. Yeah, my steps were pretty decent yesterday. I thought they were going to end up pretty rubbish. We didn't go to the gym. The weather was a bit pants in the morning, but I think I ended up on about 11, 12,000. 31,000 is a lot of steps to do in a day. So I'm really one, good morning. Lots of hikes. I had myself one Easter egg broke up over the weekend. Lovely, nice portion control. Hope you enjoyed it. Karen G, good morning. James is in, good morning, mate. I didn't track all weekend, so I'm a bit worried about the scales, to be honest, but hopefully it won't be too. It won't be. It'll be fine. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You can't change it. The important thing is if you didn't track over the weekend, and there's no right or wrong answer for it, I'll tell you if there's no right or wrong answer for it. If you've got food guilt this morning, you should have just tracked. Just be accountable to it, Don't get me. I think a lot of people don't want to track because I don't want to see what I'm doing. If it's gone in here, it's gone in. It doesn't matter whether you stick it in your app or not. You've had it. So you might as well track and be accountable to it. But that's only if you've got any food guilt this morning. If you're literally like, I had a weekend off, it was great, back to it this morning, all good, fine. But we've got to do things to help our mindset, right? And if you've planned a weekend off, right, from eating, which is what we need to, we need to have weight loss breaks. I talk about them all the time. But still, at the end of that weekend, you're like, oh, God, what have I done this morning? What have I done? What damage have I done? What is going to... Just track. Because if you get on the scales this morning and they've gone up 6 pounds, but you've tracked over the weekend and you're within your calorie allowance, or you're over but you're within your calorie maintenance, none of that 6 pound gain is body fat, right? I've tracked all weekend. I'm gonna do my weekly weight loss vlog today. I nearly recorded it yesterday, but I was like, no, I'm gonna have a day off. In fact, I need to charge my camera because I'm also gonna do a shopping vlog today. I've got a big shopping vlog to do today because I have got a lot of I've got a lot of shopping to do because I'm going away next week. I'm trying to do double bubble content this week. So basically what I mean by double bubble content is like I'm going to do a couple of recipes. I'm going to do try and do 2 worth of calories videos in one so I can get some content out next week while I'm away. Anyway, so yeah, I was kind of setting my mind that I'd be about, I was quite happy to go a couple of 1,000 calories. I wanted to be in a 3,500 calorie deficit this week, right? Now I'm currently putting myself in about a five and a. If I stick to my ideal deficit, I'm in about a 5,500 calorie deficit over a week. If I go under my ideal deficit, I've had quite a few weeks in 2025 where I've been in like a 7,000 calorie deficit, right? So I was quite happy to go a couple of thousand calories over my ideal deficit to go up to something like 20,000 calories for the week. I'd still lose a pound of body fat, but an extra 2,000 calories is a good bit of extra food freedom for the Easter weekend. I've ended up going about 300 calories over, to be honest with you. It wasn't too bad at all. Now, one thing I have done this week is I had a bit more food freedom yesterday. Not loads, but I normally eat about 1,800. I normally eat under 2,000 calories on a Monday. I ate about 2,800. So I actually gave myself a bit more food freedom yesterday, which I wasn't planning on doing really. But because I had a bit of a lower calorie weekend, Rachel's off work. It's still classed as a bank holiday. I was like, no, I'm going to give myself a little bit of food freedom. So I think I had about 2,000. So I was about 200 calories over my average yesterday. But I just said to Rachel, I'm going to have and this is the beauty of the way I coach weight loss. Rather than stressing it like that, I said, I normally have a higher calorie Saturday, Sunday. Right? And I said, this week, let's have a higher calorie day today and a higher calorie Saturday. I don't like chasing my tail too much. I don't like being negative on a Monday, but it's not negative, right? And again, that's just a mindset thing. It's just going, it's not, I had a high calorie day today. I'm going to get back to it today. Banking calories Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I've actually planned my eating pretty much for the entire week, right? I did it last night. I got in my app and I've put all my main meals, breakfast, lunch, and tea for Monday to Friday is in my app. It's in, and I'm rarely going to be over 2,100 calories a day. So I'm going to take 1,800 calories into the weekend if I stick to plan for this week. And I'm going to have a higher calorie Saturday or a higher calorie Sunday. I don't know which one. Right? I don't know which one, but I'm just going to have one higher calorie day at the weekend. That's what I'm going to do. Because I got to Spain a week on Wednesday, and that's my eye on the prize now. That is my eye on the prize. I want to have a really good 2 or 3 day, a really good week and 2 days. Now, a week and a day. God, it's a week tomorrow. It's going to be one of them this week. I am going to lose track all week. In the days because it messes it up, doesn't it? That bank holiday Monday. And then we've got another one week on Monday. Another bank holiday week on Monday. I was sloshing water about it. So, yeah, my eye is on the prize of, I was meant to be going on a head wetting, a really good mate of mine's head wetting on Saturday. I've canned it because I just won't enjoy it. I'll be in the back of my head. My eye on the prize is Wednesday. He's going away to Spain for a few days with some mates. So, I'm just gonna play it by ear. I'm just gonna play it by ear this week, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, it's all good. Good morning, all. Good morning, Maureen. Down 53 pounds this year. Off to Orlando for 2 weeks tomorrow, and stressed about putting back on. Look, at the end of the day, if you're stressing about gaining weight that you've lost, you're losing weight in the wrong. Like if you've been at it from January and you've lost 53 pounds, you should fully understand. It's been nearly 4 months, right? Exactly what your calorie allowance is, how many calories. Now, I'm not telling you to track calories on holiday. I wouldn't, right? But we should, and don't get me wrong, it can take months and years to correct an unhealthy relationship with food. But you've got to use, you've lost 53 pounds in 2025, right? You've been in a pretty strict calorie deficit, yeah? But while you're in it, you've got to teach yourself how weight loss works, how weight gain works, right? I don't know how long you're going to Orlando for, but, one thing I will tell you is, whichever way you do it, going to America for a week or 2 is flipping expensive, right? The last thing you need is that holiday being ruined by guilt of eating food, right? So you can, you've lost 53 pounds. Right, 53 pounds means since beginning of the year, you have been in 185,500 calorie deficit, right? So this is a pound of body fat, yeah? To lose one of these, you need to consume 3,500 calories less than you burn, roughly. All right, there's a bit of science out there that says to lose one of these, you can actually lose one if you're in a little bit less of a calorie deficit. Some people say you need to be in a bit more of a calorie. It doesn't matter. 3,500 calories is a pound of fat, right? Just think of it like that. Yeah, you don't need to get obsessive with it or overcomplicated with it, right? So to lose one of these, you need to consume 3,500 calories less than you burn, right? To gain one back, you need to consume 3,500 calories more than you burn, not more than the calories you've been sticking to this year, more than you burn. So on average, I've been doing about 2,500 calories a day in 2025, right? But my calorie burn is about 3,500. Dog's being sick. Cheers, Blossom. I can't get her out. What are you doing there? Oh, dog's being sick. Right, go on out. Hang on. You only normally do it once. Yeah, you can do it on there because it's rubber. That's fine. Is that it? Do you want to go out? Come on, Blossom. Out. Go on. Oh, well, thanks for that. Cheers for that, for being sick on me carpet. Bloody dog. It's only a bit of bile. I'll sort it out later. I knew she was going to do that before because she was trying to chew a bit of grass. Anyway, dog's being sick. that's a new one for the live. Anyway, where are we at? Right, gaining weight. So 3,500 calories. You need to eat 2,000. So I burn 3,500 calories a day. For me to gain a pound of body fat, right, I would need to consume 7,000 calories in a day. Now, I'm not saying that's not easily done. It's up to it just depends on how much you can eat, especially if you're in America. But like, you've got to have this notion, right? So let's say I'd lost 53 pounds at the beginning of this year. I haven't. I've lost about 30. But you know, let's say I've lost 53 pounds, right, this year. And I go to Florida and I eat 3,500, and I go for 2 weeks, and I eat 3,500 calories a day more than I burn, right? In 2 weeks, you'll gain 14 pounds. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. You might be like, flip it to a positive, right? From the beginning of this year, including an amazing holiday to Florida, you're still 39 pounds down from the beginning of the year. I guarantee, if someone said to you at the beginning of the year, you will be nearly, you're gonna start on this weight loss journey now, right? You go to Florida in April, and when you get back from Florida, you're going to be nearly 3 stone down. You'll still be 3 stone lighter than you were at Christmas. You probably snap their hand off, right? Now, the important thing is when you go on holiday, and I tell you now, it is flipping for 2 weeks. You might be like, easily, it'll hold my beer, right? Trust me, to eat 3,500 calories a day more than you burn consistently for 2 weeks ain't easy. You might think it is. You might think it sounds, I'd smash that, no problem, right? It's flipping hard, right? It's flipping hard. And even if you did, right? Like I say, the important thing is when you go on holiday and you just enjoy your holiday, you get back to doing what we do. Now, your big issue might be, right, 'cause 53 pounds in 3 months, you've been in a very restrictive calorie deficit. I don't care how much you weigh, right? So if you've been in a restrictive calorie deficit, you then take a weight loss break, it can be very, very hard to return to that method, right? Going on holiday will bring you brick wall in, right? And that is real, and that's what I do find that can be the biggest issue. So when you get back from holiday, you need to get back to doing what you need to do, but you need to make sure that if you've been eating 1,500 calories a day and you've had that sole focus of your holiday, and holidays are great for focusing on, right? They really, really are. It's like I'm going away a week on Wednesday, and it would have been very easily for me just this week to go, right, I'm away a week on Wednesday, I'm going to eat 1,500 calories a day until I go. I'm not. I don't change anything. My calorie allowance is always healthy and sustainable, whatever I'm going on. When I've got a holiday and a point of focus, what that makes me do is it makes me be as on it as I can be. Right? That's what it does. Up to my calories. It doesn't make me go obsessive. It doesn't make me go over the top. It doesn't make me over restrict. It just makes me be on it. I'll be on it. Whereas if I didn't have that sole point of focus next week, I would have gone on the head wetting on Saturday and overconsumed calories. This weekend, instead of being 400 calories over my ideal deficit, I might have been a couple of thousand calories. I might go, I've got nothing on, I'll just have a big blowout for the weekend. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that, but I've not overly restricted myself. I've eaten roughly my daily average. Does that make sense? So go to Florida. You go for 2 weeks. You've told me in the thing. Have an amazing time. But while you're losing weight, you've got to work on that relationship with weight loss. And you should never feel guilty about eating anything, On a positive, I'll probably be walking around 50 miles a day, right? Exactly. So again, on a positive, keep it positive, right? You're going to be doing, you might be there going, well, normally when I'm in the UK, I do 8,000 steps a day. I'm going to be doing double that every day because we're walking around theme parks. Great. Does that, should we always look at movement and exercise as counterbalancing overeating? No, you can't outtrain a bad diet. But does it help? Of course it does. Right? At the end of the day, if you're going to be burning a good few hundred calories a day more, it's also going to be hot. That burns a few more calories. Right? So just don't worry about it. Go on holiday, enjoy it. The important thing is whenever you go on holiday, whether it's for a week, for 2 weeks, whether it's a weekend, whether you've just enjoyed Easter weekend, when you get back home or whatever, when you get back to reality, as it were, you get back to doing what you do, right? Whatever happened this weekend should not be rolling into today. So I had a really high bank holiday Easter. I'll start next. I'm gonna have a week off this week, and then go. And then you'll get what you'll do is then next Monday, you'll be like, it's bank holiday next Monday. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna do this week. Then I'll get back to it, and then you'll have another higher calorie bank, and so on and so forth. It can spiral very, very quickly. Anna, good morning. Anyway, right, let me scan down. I think we talked about that. I've been good for the weekend. 900 calories left over. Brilliant, James. Dodds is in. Morning, mate. Oh, you good? I was thinking about you the other day, Mr. Dodds. I don't know. I was just going through some admin and just going through and just updating my client list. And I thought, if clients that I don't chase my clients, right? I'll be honest with you, I don't. And some people might, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Right? And when I say I don't chase my clients, I don't, if people are always noticeable by their absence, right? Especially the people that interact and come on lives quite a bit and talk for the group. So, and you might be like, well, you're our coach. You're there to keep. Yeah, I am. I'm here all the time. I have a broadcast list that everyone's on. They get messages from me all the time. I'm going live. I'm going this. I'm doing that. Right? I do Zoom sessions in the community. Again, I send all that out. I do weight loss coaching lives in the community. I send all that out. I'm never not here. Right? I never disappear for weeks on end. So I don't expect you to disappear for weeks on end. And I don't mean that as in some people have different issues. But what I mean by that is if you do go a bit AWOL, I'm not going to chase you because I'm always here. Right? And then number two, I don't charge enough to chase clients, if that makes sense. Like if you were paying me £250 a month, I was chatting to a guy this morning, actually, he's just set up his online coaching. He's a personal trainer in the gym and he's just set up online and he's going to, he's offering a package where you get one PT. So he's doing online coaching, but he's keeping it local for the time being. So you get one personal training session a week with him in the gym. And then he writes you a plan. So if you come to the gym, you've got his exercises to follow and he's writing a nutritional plan. Very standard, generic, like online coaching sort of thing for his niche market. His niche market isn't my niche market. Because we were talking about that. It was like, what is your niche market? He said, I work with anyone that wants to work with me, I will work with them. But my niche market are people that are overweight, obese, morbidly obese, that are struggling to make that change, right? I'm sort of the Kickstarter. If someone comes to me and they're currently 25 stone and I get them down to being 15 stone, and then they want to take it up a notch, they really want to get into their gym training, they really want to change their body composition, they want to build a good amount of muscle, lean out a bit more, then I'd say, right, well, you go work with Steve. Now I've done my bit. Now I've improved your overall eating. You've got more. You've learned self-control. You've got a better relationship with food. You've got a better relationship with weight loss, right? But I'm not a personal trainer online. I'm a weight loss coach, right? So if you want to take it to the next level, maybe go off with Steve. Now, I was talking to Steve, and Steve's like, he's charging £300 a month. So you get one, so he charges £35 for a PT session. So you get 4 of those included. So that would be £140 a month. And then he's chucking £160 a month on top to write a plan, check in with him, adjust it, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, do you know what? If I charge my clients £300 a month, I probably would chase them. Because if I charge my clients £300 a month, I'd only work with 10 clients, right? And I've got time to say, right, where's your check-in? What's going on? But I don't. I charge £30 a month, or I charge a tenth of what Steve is charging. So I just don't charge enough to chase people. But I do go through. I do have what I call active clients and inactive clients. In a way. So an inactive client is someone that is subscribed to me, right? But then currently not checking in, right? And I have them blocked, right? And then I have active clients, they're subscribed to me and they do check in, right? And I do go through and I'm just like, oh, I wonder if you know, how such, and I wonder how you're doing, but I'm not gonna, you know, I'm here when you need me. Does that kind of make sense? In talking of being a client, I've had quite a lot of people sign up Sunday, Monday. It does happen. So I did say this. So I've been running a half price offer at the moment for sign up for my one-to-one plan. So it's just 15 quid to get on board. 15 quid and then it's $29.99 a month. I asked for a minimum 3 months commitment. After that, it's a rolling contract. You can cancel, leave whenever you want to, right? And it always happens. You get Easter out of the way. People have maybe overindulged a little bit. Right, I've got Tenerife in 3 months. Let's get at it. So I've had quite a few people sign up over the weekend, which is great. But it is my last, because I get busier now. So I've had a half price. I've had a half price sign up for the last couple of weeks because pre-Easter it's fairly quiet. This is the last week because I'm getting busy now. So, you know, when it's a quieter time for me, I put a deal on. When it's a busier time, I don't put a deal on. So if you do want to come and join my one-to-one plan, whether you're currently in the community and you feel you need a bit of extra support, or you just need some extra support and accountability, it's 15 quid until Sunday to sign up to my one-to-one plan. Now, after Wednesday, anyone that signs up to Wednesday, maybe even Thursday this week, I will get you started on Monday. Right? If you sign up Thursday dinner time onwards, you can still use the half price sign up. That is running until Sunday night this week, right? But I am not starting any clients on I think it's the 4th or maybe the 5th of May. So I've got a start date for this Monday. So I'll get you started on Monday. If you sign up after Thursday dinner time, the next start date will be 2 weeks on Monday because I'm not here next week. I go on all, so I'm here Monday, Tuesday next week, but Monday, Tuesday is just going to be kind of normal admin content, doing lives with my clients. I'm going to get a Zoom. I'm basically going to move things around, guys. So, like next week, I'm only here Monday, Tuesday, but I'm still going to get an Everything Weight Loss Zoom session in. I'm still going to get a weight loss coaching live in. I'm still going to get some social media lives in as well. So I'm going to pack a lot into 2 days. So I'm not going to have time to write plans up. So I'm back on the Sunday. It's bank holiday on the Monday. And then I'll be writing plans up. So the next start date is going to be like 11th or 12th of May. So if you want to get going now, get signed up this week before Thursday. It'll cost you 15 quid to sign up and we'll get you going. And just as I've said that, someone has literally just signed up. Let me have a look. Who is it? Are you on the live or Lee? Anyway, I don't know if you're on the live, but Lee, thank you for signing up. I assume that is, it could be female, it could be male, the way it's been spelled. Anyway, Lee, thank you for signing up. So if you want to sign up, TikTok profile, YouTube, Facebook page, just find my link tree. Second, third tab down in my link tree is the link to my website, 15 quid. Get signed up. Use code SPRING50 to get half price sign up. Yeah, and we'll get you going on Monday. We can get you started on plan on Monday. Anyway, there you go. Oh, Lee, that's me. Lee, good morning. It is. I thought it was female the way it was spelled. Can Lee be spelled that way? Male? I don't know. Maybe it can. I'm not an expert on how Lee's can be spelled, male or female. Anyway, Lee, thanks very much for signing up. Lee, in your order confirmation email, you will have some downloads. Some people struggle to download them on their phone. So you might need to jump on an iPad or jump on a laptop or a computer if you've got one. Any issues, if I don't hear from you by tomorrow, right, I'll email you. I mean, I can email you today. If you're like, yeah, I can't sort that out, I can email you the foot. It's just basically when you sign up to my one-to-one plan, you get a confirmation email saying thank you for signing up. In that is a zip folder to download. It's got 3 things in it. It's got your sign-up confirmation. It has got your consultation form to send over. And it's also got a discount code for NutriCheck if you want a discount for NutriCheck. Yeah. With every penny, the one-to-one plan and the £15 sign up is a bargain. Thank you very much, Dan. Have a great day. Cheers, Faye. Thank you very much. I think I'm on later on. I can't remember what have I put out this week, guys. Can you remember? I know I've put a couple of extra lives in, I think, due to like being off on Monday. I'm not sure if I put like a tea time live in at R4 today. Have a look. Leave it with me. Thanks. I'll get those done today. Cheers, Lee. Yeah, if you get it sent over today, I'm going to have a plan writing session on Wednesday. So today's content day, YouTube videos. I'm going to go do a shopping vlog. I'm going to do my weekly weight loss vlog and do a few other bits and pieces. Tomorrow, I might do plan writing tomorrow. I'll see how I get on. Oh, no, Wednesday, plan writing. Told you I was going to get mixed up with the days this week. I'm all over the shop already. So tomorrow is going to be plan writing day. Thursday is it's generally a normal admin day and a few other bits and pieces. And then Friday's check-in day. God, this week's going to disappear. I know it is. I absolutely know it is. Struggled to make the world yesterday, but back on it today. Hannah, that is all you need to do. What do we do about this week? Right? What do we do about this week? If you struggled yesterday or just for whatever reason you went, do you know what, I'm going to have a higher calorie day, right? What do we do about this week? How do we sort that out, right? How do we not chuck in, God, I've ruined it already. No, you didn't. It's flipping Monday, right? Let's do 2 scenarios. I tracked, I didn't track. If you didn't track yesterday and you're back on it today and you had a higher calorie day yesterday, just write it off. It's just one of those, right? How do we look at our calories for the rest of the week? Well, let's say your calorie allowance is 2,000 calories a day. So you'd normally stick to 14,000 calories over a week, right? That's what you'd normally do, 14,000 calories over a week, right? Well, you're not. This week, you're going to stick to 12,000 calories, right? That's what you're going to do. You're going to stick to 12,000 calories because you didn't thingy yesterday. You didn't track yesterday. Right, so we're just writing off yesterday. Doesn't matter what happened. So I've got 2,000 calories today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I still want some higher calorie days for the weekend. So I'm just going to try and bank the best as I can for the 4 days. Take those into the weekend. Right, but this weekend, because I did have a higher calorie Monday, I'm going to be a bit more mindful over the weekend. So you might just have 1 higher calorie day instead of 2. So I've had my higher calorie Monday. I'm going to have a high calorie Saturday or Sunday. Or, look, I've gone over Monday. I've written that off. I'm on 2,000 calories today. I'm going to have 1,700 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm still going to bank 1,200, which means I can have 2,600 Saturday, 2,600 Sunday, whatever, right? That is one way to look at it. Number 2, right? It's a couple of different scenarios. You can sit there this morning and go, what did I eat yesterday? Let's have a guesstimate. Let's put it in. Right, let's put it in. Let's be accountable. What did I eat yesterday? Well, I ate a whole Easter egg, 1,500 calories. Put it in. It doesn't make it. Like I said before, if it's gone in here, it's in there. Whether it's logged in your app or not, it's in there, so you can be accountable to it. Now, if you're literally like, I don't even know where to start. Don't track for yesterday. Now, but you could track for yesterday, see where you feel you've ended up, and then just crack on as normal, right? Or if you did track yesterday, right? Again, you can do what I've done. I had a higher calorie day yesterday. It wasn't crazy. I think I had about 2,900 calories. So I'm like 300 calories on my credit card at the moment. That's how I kind of look. I always compare money and this and that. So I've got 300 calories on my credit card. My first mission is to pay that off. And I'm going to pay that off today minimum. Right? That's my plan. Right? So that would mean me eating 2,300 calories today or less. If I eat less than 2,300 calories, right, that means I've paid my credit card off and I've put a bit of money into savings. So that's my first mission, is to pay that credit card off. Right now, today I might. I don't know. I've planned my eating out. I've planned breakfast. I've planned lunch. I've planned tea. Right? I've planned it out. I've not put any snacks in there, but I have no idea where my hunger hormone is going to be today. I'm coming out of a higher calorie weekend. Normally, when I come out of a higher calorie weekend, I'm normally all right, but I did have a few beers on Sunday. Nothing major. I had about 5 or 6 beers over the course of 5 or 6 hours. So it was kind of 1 hour. I paced myself pretty well and this, that, and that. But again, that can have a knock-on effect. So I just don't know. I just don't know. So I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. But so my target today is 2,300 calories, and that'll pay for yesterday, right? And then for the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, head back in the game. I'm just going to bank calories for one higher calorie day this weekend. So my plan is either Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to stick to my daily average, which is 2,600 calories, right? And then whatever I can bank Wednesday, anymore is just a bonus, right? And really, I'm going to try and bank 500 calories a day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm going to take 1,500. So I can have a 4,000 calorie day this weekend and be in my ideal deficit. Yeah. So that's my plan. So you can, and that should be your plan. You might, I tried yesterday, Neil. I went 600 calories over, right? Well, that's your first mission. You've got to pay your credit card off, right? Whether you do that today or you do that today and tomorrow, it doesn't matter, right? And then you might just need, and that is the beauty of the way I look at calories, the way, it will be so easy just to write this week off because you've had a high calorie Monday. Yeah, that is easy. But weight loss isn't easy, and taking the easy option is never going to be the right option at times. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it can, it's all down to scenario. If I'd not had a weight loss break in 2025, and the first bit of freedom I've given myself my calories was Friday for the bank holiday, I probably would take this week off. I'd have a maintenance week, or I probably would. So there's a few different scenarios, yeah? Right, let me scan up. You just need to decide what you're going to do. And then I tracked and it was massively high. Okay, Hannah. So what you might do there is you might flip your calories this week. Right? You might flip your calories this week. Move to a maintenance. Right? So what I mean by that is, so Hannah's one of my one-to-one clients. She's had a high day on Monday. I don't know how high. I don't know how much she's got over. She's got 1,000 over. She's got 2,000. She's got 3,000. I have no idea. But let's take the pressure off Hannah straight away. I've had a bit of a blowout, right? I don't want to gain any body fat this week, even though I've had a blowout on Monday, right? So let's just take the pressure off. The calories I stick to, right, puts me into a calorie deficit. Let's just flip to maintenance. Let's give me an extra 3,500 calories. Because if I stick to maintenance for a week, I'm not going to lose any body fat, but I'm not going to gain any. That's so important. I'm not going to lose, but I'm not going to gain. Right, so let's flip to that. So Hannah now could jump in to her app, right, into her NutriCheck or a MyFitnessPal. I don't like. I think Hannah uses NutriCheck. She can jump into NutriCheck, right, and she can go and change her calories. So her calories might be 2,000 calories a day. She can jump into a NutriCheck now and change it to 2,500. Let's give her an extra 3,500. That might put her in the green for yesterday. It might put her in the, but it just gives her that extra freedom. Right? And then today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, no different. Normally I eat during the week 1,700 a day. Crack on doing that. Right? Go into the weekend as normal, higher calorie Saturday, Sunday kind of thing, and just see where you're at Sunday night. I guarantee if you flip to maintenance, you'll probably still be in a deficit by the end of the week. But because that maintenance has took the pressure off and it's given you a much more realistic target for the end of the week, it makes you chill your beans a little bit, right? So that's one option. Hannah's worked with me for a long time, right? She's one of my OGs. She started in 2021, and we've been on and off a little bit in terms of consistently checking in, but she's been on it at the moment. She's doing really, really well. So she knows what to do. It's just picking that right scenario for Hannah to keep... This is what we're trying to do all the time, is keep this thing positive. If this thing is constantly negative, you're going to throw the towel in all the time. you're going to throw the towel in all the time. But if you can just flip things and look at it in a more positive way, it will stop you throwing the towel in, right? And you could turn what might start off as being, a bad week into a great week, So there's always lots of options, right? And that's the beauty of my plan. We very like a lot of weight loss methods, a lot of diet methods are, hello, you were a bit sicky before. Are you okay now? Come on. Are you coming up? What? Come say hello. Come here. I don't know. You don't need to lick my face. You've just been sick. All right. Blossom's had a lovely weekend, haven't you, Bloss? Hey? You had a good weekend, haven't you? And this week, where can you go this week after having your op? You can go to the beach, can't you? You want to go to the beach? What have you got in your head? What have you been rolling in outside? You've not been to the beach for 3-4 weeks, have you? Because you're not allowed to run, but you're allowed to run this weekend. Yes. Right, that's the end of the dog. Anyway, there we go. So, yeah, it's all about keeping yourself positive, keeping this mindset positive. What route can we take? And too many, yesterday, if you were doing Slimming World and you have 12 sins a day and you had 200 sins yesterday, you can't see a way back. That's the issue. Yesterday, if you're doing intermittent fasting 12 till 8, and I was eating at 7 a.m. I was still scoffing Easter egg at 11 p.m. last night, Neil. You can't see a way back. I've blown one day, I might as well ruin the rest of the week. And I always say this, if you don't have the best Monday and you let that ruin, it's like having a puncture. You're on the motorway, you have a puncture, front left tyre, you've got a spare, you can change it, or you can wait for the RAC to come and change it, or because I've got one puncture, I might as well take a knife out and puncture all the other tyres. It's just you wouldn't do that, would you? It's like, I've got one puncture. One puncture is the same as having 4 punctures, so I might as well just sabotage the whole car, and then I can't go anywhere. And then I've got to get transported. Then I've got to go back to where I started. If you're driving, yesterday bank holiday. Right, like Friday, bank holiday weekend. We're going to the Lake District for the weekend. We're going here for the weekend. We're going to Scarborough. I don't know where people go for the weekend. We're going to North Wales for the weekend, whatever. Right, and 2 hours into your journey, going on holiday for the weekend, you get a puncture. So I've travelled for 2. It's 4 hours to our destination. I've travelled 2. I'm halfway there, and I get a puncture. Right, what do you do? Right, you've got kids in the back. And you're a bit stressed. Everything's. What do? Do you literally, sabotage, puncture all the other 3 tyres, wait for recovery like, we're just going to take you home, right? Or do you go, do you know what? I've got a puncture, I've got a spare tyre, I know how to change it. I don't know how to change it, but I've got RAC covered. They'll come and change it for me, right? And then once it's all changed, right, you might go onto a flipping, a Space Saver tyre, right? I can get to my destination, right? I can find a local garage. They'll stick me a new tyre on. Yeah, it might cost me 50 quid, but it'll all be done and dusted Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, and we can just go and enjoy our holiday. What scenario do you take? Or do you just go, I sod that, turn around and come home? Likewise, you might have been travelling on Friday and you're going somewhere and you just hit really bad traffic. You've been travelling, it's 4 hours to your destination. You've been travelling to, there's an accident on the motorway, it's backed up, you're on Google Maps, it tells you the delay's 45 minutes. Do you sit in the traffic for 45 minutes? Yeah, it's a bit frustrating, yeah, it's a bit annoying, but eventually you get through it, you can carry on. We should have got to our haven at 2 p.m. We get there at R4. You're still on holiday, you're making the best of a bad situation. You've got there just a little bit later and you go and have a fantastic weekend. Or as soon as you hit that traffic, I'm not sitting in this for an hour. The next junction, you get off, turn around and go home. Lose all your deposit, lose all your money for your holiday. You don't. You sit in the traffic. Too many of us, when we hit a bump in the road, we hit a snag with our weight loss journey, we hit traffic, we get a puncture. We're too easy just to go back home. And you've got to stop. You've got to stop that mentality. And there's always a way to navigate it. Is she a cockapoo? Yes. Blossom is a cockapoo. Got 2 at the moment. I've got that one over there, and then I've got this one here, which is Wilma. We've got Blossom. because we dog sit Wilma whenever her parents go on holiday. So we dog sat Wilma a couple of times. And we're like, how cool are cockapoos? Let's go and get one. So we did. Wilma's going home today. We've had Wilma since last Monday. Her dad got back from Lanzarote last night, and he's coming at some point. Your dad's coming today, Wilma. She's not bothered. She's more than happy sat in a bed, laid in a bed flat out. Right, let me scan down. Hi, when will my husband get his calories, please? When I get his consultation form, Kelly. I've not had it, I don't think. I know you messaged me saying, but he'll get his calories today, but I just need his consultation form. I didn't know if you were messaging it me or if you were... but yeah, I've not. I don't, unless you've WhatsApped it me over the weekend. You might have WhatsApped it me, Kelly. I've not looked at my WhatsApp over the weekend. I've had a full weekend off, and it has been lovely. One advantage of Rachel going back to work is we do have that, like, we've kind of got that nice work-life balance back a little bit because I'm self-employed. I just work all the time. But now Rachel's like in an office. We used to be both self-employed. We used to work together. Our times outside of work is more precious. So it's making me, like, even yesterday, I nearly come in the office. I nearly recorded my weekly weight loss vlog. And I was just like, nope, I'm not doing it. So I've not looked at any. I'm going to get back. I've got loads of messages on my phone from the weekend. I've answered pretty much most emails this weekend that I've got this weekend. I've done that this morning. I've been to the gym. This morning. I've been to the gym this morning. And then I've come back and I've done most emails. I'm going to go through my WhatsApp after this live. All right. Let me scan up. But Kelly, I'm not sure unless, like I say, if you've WhatsApped to me, but I've not had an email. I just had a message off you saying my husband signed up with my email. So, if you get his details over, I shall work out. I'm actually just double checking now that I haven't had you, that you haven't sent me the details. I don't think you have. No, unless it's on WhatsApp. And like I said, I've not looked at my WhatsApp yet. That's my next job. Let me scan down and see what I've missed. I don't think I've missed too much. Lee has just sent her consultation form over. The consultation form for the one-to-one plan, guys, is very, very simple. You can fill it in and get it sent over within 5 minutes or so. Let's have a look at Lee's. I'm not obviously going to read out any personal information. Nice. Yeah, cool. Lovely. Lee's got a very kind of, not standard, but kind of a bit of a generic issue that a lot of people have had. She's probably dieted a lot throughout her life, used fad diets, not used anything sustainable, and got a decent level of movement, which means Lee's going to have a decent calorie allowance to start off with, but we can improve that, and we will do throughout the plan. And she'll get some good results. All good. Right. Let me scan up and see what I'm missing. I don't think I'm missing anything. Cool. So what are my plans for today? So I'm going to do a weekly weight loss vlog. I normally record that on a Monday and get it out, but I'm going to do it today. It was my check-in on Friday, so I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover how I've handled Easter weekend. We'll go through my calories. We'll go through my movement, my steps, and my exercise for last week. And then I'm going to pick my top 5 things that I on my weekly weight loss vlog. I do the top 5 things that I ate last week, and I'll show you how I've tracked it, so you can sort of have a look and see what the calories are for those 5 things. So we're going to get that recorded today. I'm going to go to Aldi and do a shopping vlog. So I'm going to record a couple of episodes, a couple of like make my weight loss dinner or weight loss tea with me. I am doing the recipes that I am doing this week. 2 recipes. I'm doing chicken and bacon ranch loaded potato skins, right? And I am doing quarter pounder with cheese loaded fries. We've got 2 loaded dishes today, both with spuds. Well, I'm doing them both tomorrow. So I'm having the chicken and bacon ranch loaded potato skins for my dinner tomorrow, and then me and Rach are having quarter pounder with cheese loaded fries tomorrow night for tea. So I'm doing both those recipes. One will be the loaded potato skins will be out tomorrow. The quarter pounder with cheese loaded fries will be out next Friday. Two absolute banging recipes. Really, really good. I've been messing about with them for the last couple of weeks. Keep that to myself. But I've kind of perfected them. So I'm recording both of those. Remember to head over to my YouTube. There's lots of recipes over there. There'll be over 30 recipes by the end of, I think I'm on 30 now or 29, am I? Let me have a look. Let me see what's going on. So yeah, we have got 29 recipes in. I can show you on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, we're having them on Thursday night. Vodka pasta, my deconstructed Chinese chicken curry. What have we got? Bacon and mushroom carbonara. And with these, if you click on the description, so click on the video, there's a video there of how I make it. And then in the description, you've got all the ingredients. So prep time, the calories per portion in the description. And if you use NutriCheck like I do, right, you've got the link to track it on NutriCheck. So you don't even need to track it. So if you make this dish and you click on that link or just copy and paste it into your browser, like I'm going to do here, right? There you go. It will bring it up as a shared meal. You can then why is it? Oh, accept cookies. You can then accept all, and these are all my shared meals. So there you go. You got my bacon and mushroom carbonara, my Big Mac. These are all of them. These are the ones that I've shared to myself, and or shared out with Rachel. So these are just some. We've got the Boss Duke chicken sandwich, bacon and mushroom carbonara, and then you can just click on that, and then you can copy it to your own meals. And if you need to adjust it, so you can put that into dinner there. Yeah, go to meal. And there you go. And it's in there. And you can put that into your meals there. And then if I go into my afternoon snacks, you've got their meal, bacon and mushroom, tagliatelle, 574 calories, 41.7 grams of protein, and 4 grams of fibre. So that is in my YouTube. So if you don't follow me on, hang on. Let me flip my camera back around. If you don't follow me on YouTube, go over there. There's 29 recipes for you. All the links, all little recipe videos so you can watch me make it. I try and keep them under 10 minutes so they're nice and straightforward to watch. All the ingredients is in there and the links track it on NutriCheck. Yeah. Have you tried the new combo mixed crisp in Aldi? Calorie controlled party crisp, salted and hot and spicy. I haven't. So I'm going over to Aldi today. I'm going to do a shopping vlog. I know I do a lot of shopping vlogs in Aldi, but I've got a lot of stuff to buy today. I've got my normal weekly essentials. I've got no frozen fruit. I've got no yogurt. I've got no chicken. I've got no rice. I need to buy the stuff for those 2 recipes. And I also need to buy the stuff for our teas this week. So tea tonight, we are having a homemade Chinese. All right, so we're doing homemade Chinese tonight. Tomorrow, we are having a quarter pounder with cheese loaded fries. Thursday, we are having pizza enchiladas. And Friday, we are having lasagna. Which I think will be Friday. The lasagnas, I made it last week. I made lasagna last week, and I made 4. So 2 are just in the freezer. So it's just a really quick meal prep. Get it out, let it defrost, whack it in the oven for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Good to go. So I don't know when we're having that. We're having that one night this week. But I did pizza yesterday. I cracked out my Ninja pizza oven yesterday. First time in 2025. It was lovely and sunny yesterday afternoon. Bought some pizza dough from Tesco. So I did pizzas. So I've got like 2/3 of a tin of pizza sauce left. So I'm like, pizza enchiladas. Again, that recipe's on YouTube if you want to make them. It's one of my absolute favourites, my pizza enchiladas. So I'm going to go and have a right good... I always seem to find you on my FYP when I'm having a bad day. I'm always here. I'm here every day. I'm here pretty much 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. I'm always either I do a TikTok live, at least one TikTok live Monday to Friday. Yeah. And I try and put one piece of TikTok content out a week. I do copy that to Reels. I do try and copy it to YouTube Shorts. I always try and do some long format. I always try and do at least 3 long format videos a week. So you're going to get 2 today. You're going to get my weekly weight loss vlog and my shopping vlog if I have time to edit both. Weekly weight loss vlog's definitely coming out. Shopping vlog might be tomorrow. You're going to get a recipe tomorrow, which is going to be my chicken and bacon ranch loaded potato skins. And then worth of calories. There'll be a worth of calories out this week as well. That'll be out Thursday, Friday. I'll see how we get on. Yeah. Neil, I'm really struggling to figure my calories. TD saying 1200 seems way too low. It does. Come sign up to my... So I have my one-to-one plan. If you don't feel like... I don't want one-to-one coaching, Neil. I'm quite happy going it alone. Quite happy doing it on my own. But you want your calories working out and you want to surround yourself by like-minded people on the same journey. Just come and join my community. It's £5 for your first month using code WELCOME. As part of sign up to my community, you do get a full calorie breakdown. Someone asked me this yesterday. Well, I had quite a few comments over the weekend. How do I work out my calories? How do I work out my calories? And a lot of people are like, use the free online calorie calculator. From my own experience, now, I did have one person comment yesterday. Well, you're only saying online calorie calculators are bad because I charge £5, mate. Like, it doesn't pay my mortgage, does it? Right? For me to pay my mortgage off charging a £5 for calories, £1,000 a month mortgage and getting paid off £5 sign-ups for Dingy. So you might be like, well, why do you charge? Because you get a month's access to my community. I work out your calories. I give you a guide to bossing your weight loss. You get direct access to Zoom sessions with me just for the community. Weight loss coaching lives. You get a private Facebook group, private WhatsApp community. You get that for your £5, right? Just part of sign up is I work out your calories. So trust me, I'm not doing it for the money. But the reason why I don't give free calorie calculations out is I'm not insured to. Right? Look, at the end of the day, when you're giving people nutritional advice, whether it's a set amount of calories or you're telling people to eat certain things, right? Like when I do recipes, I'm not telling you to eat them. They're just recipes that I post. Just like, flipping James Martin on a Saturday morning that's making spaghetti bolognese or whatever. He's not liable. If you eat his spag bol, you end up with food poisoning. That's nothing to do with him. I'm just making a recipe. But if I'm giving you direct advice, right, I need to be insured for that. Because if you eat the calories I give you, and for whatever reason you can prove that that's made you poorly, it won't, because I give healthy, sustainable calorie allowances. But, I'm covered, right? You email me in. I've got paper trails everywhere of what I do for people. So, and it's a £5. So anyway, TikTok profile, YouTube page, Facebook page, sign up to the community. It's the first month's half price using code WELCOME. As soon as you sign up and pay me a £5, you're fully insured. I'm fully insured to give you nutritional advice. And I will send you a full calorie breakdown. Yeah. How do all these other influencers get away with giving out calories in a live? Is it all clickbait? It is all clickbait, but they obviously don't care about being insured. I do. I've got a house. I've got a business to protect. Right. I'm a professional. Yeah. So now, don't get me wrong. Would it be quite hard for someone to go, well, in this live, but you don't know, are people screenshotting, you screen saving the live? These lives are getting recorded, right? All my TikTok lives are recorded to TikTok. Yeah. So you could go, at such and such, they can get evidence of it. Like I say, the chances of it happening are extremely slim. But yeah, you can't just, if I say, right, you've given me this nutritional information, right? Your calories are 1,400 calories a day, and you work heavy. You work in heavy machinery or something, and you eat 1,400 calories a day, and you faint, and something lands on you because you've not eaten enough. Yeah, and why are you only eating 1,400 calories a day? Because Neil on his live told me the Real Lost Boss told me to eat 1,400 calories a day in his live. Right? Well, that's ridiculous amount of calories. That's why you fall. That's why you can't work now. And it might sound the most. You might be like, you're being a bit no. Right? No, it's not. You might cycle to work and back every day and you're not eating enough, so you faint. Right? And why are you only eating 1,200 calories a day? Because Neil, the Real Lost Boss, told me to on his live. Right? He worked out his calories for me. And that is my health. That's my calorie allowance. Right? Well, because you've undereaten, right? Or because you've only eaten 1,200 calories a day and you're diabetic, or because you've only eaten 1,200 calories a day and you have this condition, right? That's caused you to faint. And you might be like, you're being... I'm not. Like, no, I'm insured. 10 million public liability insurance, right? 5 million business insurance, right? If you can prove it, I'm all good, right? And I mean, I've been doing this job a long time now. So, yeah, people can stand there. And people do... Yeah, of course people are doing it for clickbait. People do, oh, come watch my live. I'll give you free calories. The calories they're giving you are absolute junk anyway. Right? If they eat 1,200 calories, what's the basis of that? They do that. 1,200 calories a day. Can't work out calories that quickly. Right? You've got to have a look at people. Look at this, look at age, weight, thing. You can't pluck things out of thin air, and that's what they tend to do. No, you make perfect sense. Great advice and great way to run a business. Absolutely. I'm like, I've got a mortgage to pay. I've got bills to pay. I don't need to get attention from people online to give loads of freebies away. Right? I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. Part of this, a lot of people that say sign up to my mailing list, or people say click link in such and such to get your free calorie breakdown. When you click on that link, they should have a disclaimer at the bottom. By the way, this, and they probably will do. So, a lot of people, they don't give anything away for nothing. Like, they'll get you on their mailing list. The next thing, you'll get spammed with emails afterwards, but they'll have a disclaimer. Please be aware this is just a recommended calorie allowance. I recommend. I used to do when I PT'd, you have PAR-Q forms, get people to sign them and say, look, do you want to consult with a doctor before you undertake physical? No, right, that's fine. That's your liability. I asked you, I gave you the option. You said no, that's down to you. Right? But just clickbaiting, giving out random information. And what a lot of them do is they'll give out false information. So then you'll come back in a month and go, you gave me this many calories. Well, I know, but it's obviously down to you. I'm only giving you a rough estimate. You obviously need more help. So sign up to my app, sign up to this, and that's what mate, can you resend me the emails about calorie structure, please? Yes, Dan, not a problem at all. Let me write that down. Down's one of my one-to-one clients. Never changed the It's refreshing how really well. Kels, thank you very much. And do I do a lot of people go, oh, I'm not paying a £5. It's flipping £5, right? If you're not sat there, and I mean this, and I know everyone's money situation is different, but if you're not prepared to get someone with 7 years experience, like in the field, if you're not willing to chuck a £5 at them to get a fully professional calorie breakdown from them, then you're not serious about your weight loss journey. And I mean that. I'm not having a go. That's the honest truth, isn't it? A lot of people. So I had someone the other day say, "Oh, I'm not paying for New." I'm like, NuCheck's £2 a month. It's an absolutely fantastic app. Right, for £2 a month, it's $25.99. Right, Chinese you're going to have on Saturday night. Let's not have that for a week, right? And let's pay for NutriCheck for a year, right? For $25.99 or $24.99 or whatever it is. If you're serious about tracking calories, you might as well use the best app there is out there, and it's 20. Now I'll just stick with MyFitnessPal. Stick with it, but don't whinge about how, like, when you put in a McDonald's cheeseburger, it brings up a cheeseburger for Thailand. It brings up a cheese, because they're all different. It brings up a KFC sandwich for Thailand. It brings it up for Australia. It brings it up for America. It's not a UK verified database, right? It's all very, there's just lists and lists and lists. Which one do I choose? So it's how much do you want this? Yes, there's lots of free advice out there, but free advice is free for a reason. Does that kind of make sense? Genuine question: how do you differ to Team RH? I can't really answer that question. I don't really know. I've never signed up to Team RH. Like, the difference between me and Team RH is me, right? The difference between Team RH and me, someone goes on to Team RH. What's the difference between you and the Real Lost Boss? Well, I'm not the Real Lost Boss. I'm not Team RH, right? So I don't really know what. I don't really, it's a tough one to answer. Like I say, the main difference for me is me. I'm just, I'm 45. The guy that runs Team RH might be 30. I used to be over 500 pounds, and I've managed to lose over half that weight and maintain it for over 7 years. The guy from Team RH has never been overweight. If you want to know the difference between product, well, I'm a very small independent company. Team RH is a big conglomerate. Yeah, you might have the main guy that does all the TikTok lives and stuff, but that's a multi-million-pound company. I'm not. I'm just Neil. I'm just trying to pay my mortgage. Right? I'm sat in my little office here. Right? I write your plans in Google Sheets. I ask you to use NutriCheck to track your calories. You check in with me through WhatsApp. I've not got a big fancy app, right? But also with me, you're not a number in a system. if you're going to go and work with a company that's got 100,000 members, and you might go, yeah, if you message through the app, one of our coaches will pick it up. You're just using a call center, right? There's only me. That's it. Me and 2 cockapoos. One's there, that's going today, and another one that's there. That's my business. So when you WhatsApp me. When you email me. There used to be me and my wife, but my wife's gone back into work. I sacked her. She quit on me. No, she didn't really. It's just circumstance, the way things have gone. But yeah, you just get me. So you'll never get another coach. You'll never have, you're never just asking in a random app. You just get me. Right? And that's it. And I'm kind of like, I don't need to justify what the difference is. My community is a bit dearer than the whole Team RH app, but that's because you're just getting me. It's like if you went to someone, if you wanted a new kitchen, right, we want a brand new kitchen. If you go to Howdens or you go to Wren, it'll cost you, it can cost you flipping 30, 40 grand, depending on how big your kitchen is. But let's say your kitchen was 10 grand. Because you're going to a big conglomerate. You're going to, this, that, and the other. If you went to your local independent joiner and said, I want a bespoke kitchen. I want you to come around, measure it up. I want you to make all the cabinets. So you ain't getting that for 10,000 quid, are you? Right? But will your local joiner that is in his own little workshop that custom builds everything for you, right? Is that going to be a better quality kitchen than your mass produced one from Wren or Howdens? Of course it is, but you get what you pay for. So if you're happy just logging into an app and you're asking questions, and one day it's Dave that answers it, the next day it's John that answers it, and you're just number 118 or you're number 8,099, if you're happy being that and that works for you, then use Team RH, right? But if you actually want to message someone directly that will build up a relationship with you, that will build up a pattern with you, that will understand you because you've been with me for 2 years and you've only ever talked to me, then use my plan. Now, don't get me wrong. So my community is not a one-to-one plan, whereas I think the Team RH app they class it as like a one-to-one full-on coaching thing. My coaching is £30 a month. I think Team RH is £8 a month. But for your extra 22 quid, you'll always get me. You'll never get anyone else than me. Does that make sense? Yeah. The boss is the boss. End of. Best thing I've done joining the one-to-one plan. Thank you very much. The biggest difference between you both is lived experience. Yeah, it is, And again, it's just... Now, I'm not sitting here saying the only people that can coach successful weight loss is someone that's been over 500 pounds that's lost the weight. But I have 2 things that can never be... 2 things that... Well, I certainly have one thing, empathy. You can't teach empathy. No one can ever understand what it's like to be morbidly obese unless they've been morbidly obese. No one can ever understand what it's like to have a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction unless you've had that addiction. And I always think some of the best counsellors, some of the best support are reformed addicts. And I'm a reformed addict. I used to be a food addict. I used to be over 37 stone. So I have full on... You can't teach that. Can everyone gain experience? Yeah, because if you might someone that's never had a weight issue in your life, but if you've worked for 20 years with people that have, you're going to gain experience in that. So, it is wrong to say that the only people that should coach weight loss are people that have been fat and lost the weight. It doesn't quite work like that. It's like saying the only people that can coach exercise are people that have been athletes or something. It doesn't quite work like that. Right, let me scan from you. I highly recommend the boss. He built a relationship and understands you as a person. Yeah, like Hannah. Me and Hannah have worked together since 2021. We've had some Zoom calls together or, FaceTimes together. We've worked together. We just know each other. And we've built a relationship over 4 years. I know Hannah's struggles. I know her patterns. I've got a progress sheet, 4 years worth of progress sheets, where I can see different bits and pieces. So, and like I say, you just get me. And that'll never change. And that's one of the reasons why Rachel's gone back into work, because we've got to a point where we had to ask ourselves, where are we going with the business? Are we taking it to the next step? Because if we're taking it to the next step, we probably have to bring some extra staff in to help with that if we're going to take it to the next step. Or, you know, and to be honest with you, we built it up to a point probably 12 months ago where I was it was running me. I've calmed it down a bit since then, and that's another reason why Rachel's gone back into work, because I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to bring staff in. You know, I had a chat with one of my best mates, John. He's a personal trainer. I was like, how would you fancy? You know, he's always been umming and ahhing about he wants to expand a little bit. He doesn't want to be just personal training in the gym. He's been overweight in his time, and he sort of got. And I sort of had a chat with him, and I was like, and then I had a chat with another person I know online, and I was like, you know, I like your vibe, I like the way you work. I've got a bit too much work. You know, I've got a lot of clients at the moment. We're still building the business. I maybe, you know, could pass a bit on to you, but you've got to use my. And then in the end, I was just like, a lot of people use me because of me. And again, I didn't want to go down that. So, you know, that's the only shit. And like I said, I'll always be open and honest as I can be, you know, with the business. And in the end, we sort of had a chat about it. Me and Rachel was like, if you don't want to take it any further and you run ragged now, it's not going to get any better. So let's tone it down a little bit, and I'll go back into work, and that takes the pressure off us trying to earn two wages out of the business. And that's kind of, you know, one of the reasons why we've done it. So there we go. You know, if you want to sign up, like I say, the community is £5 for your first month. So you can come in, you can come and have a look about, see what it's all about. There's no contract, you can cancel any time. So the most you're ever going to spend is £5. The one-to-one plan is £15 at the moment to sign up, and then it's $29.99 a month. I asked for 3 months commitment, right? If you're going to come on board, right, I don't want people, you know, I've done this for 2 weeks and I've not lost anything, I'll just cancel. No, I put a bit of effort in. I want to work with you. If you're going to make the commit, I need that a little bit of commitment, right? If after 3 months you're like, I've learned everything I need to learn and you want to go off on your own, fine. If after 3 months you're like, it's just not work, I just couldn't stick to it, the same as I've not stuck to Slimming World, like, fine. That again, I can lead a horse to water, I can't make him drink. But after 3 months, if you're like, I've lost £10, lost £12, it's great, I'm really enjoying it, and you want to carry on, you can just carry on. You can work with, like I say, Hannah's been working with me since 2021, so she's over 4 years, you know, whereas I've got clients that have signed, you know, that started with me at Christmas that are still with me now. So, you know, it's everyone's on the same journey, we're just all at different points. Does that kind of make sense? Right, let me scan down and see what's going on. I'm going shortly. Yeah, but you have to track 100% for 3 weeks before a coach will even talk to you with Team RH. Yeah, I did say, and don't get me wrong, like I say, I don't know too much about it. I did see someone, I did see one of the guy's videos pop up, and it basically someone had left him a 1-star review, and he always gets very, and I get it. If you're putting your heart and soul in, and it's generally a false review, I get it, but this guy had put in, you know, a terrible, like, he'd slated the company, and he obviously with Team RH, they log everything. They're big brother. They can see what you're eating, what you have to track and log everything with them. And that's their get out in a way. So if they're literally like, this guy was like, it's rubbish, and they literally went onto their app and said, he's left in March 2025, said we're absolutely rubbish. He's not done a single thing that we've asked of him since October. What are you expecting? And I kind of get that, because it is frustrating. You write a plan up, and if someone criticises your business and they've not done what's expected, but then likewise, is the plan sustainable? Like, do you have to hit calorie goals? Do you have to hit protein goals? Do you have to hit fiber goals? Do you have to hit step goals? Do you have to hit all these targets? Do you have to? I know one thing that Team RH do, I think you have to weigh everything. So even if a slice of bread says it's 47.5 grams, you can just scan a barcode. No, you've got to weigh it. For me personally, that's just not sustainable, and there's no need to be that on it. But if that's what they want to do, and that's the commitment you make, and you're happy to be that obsessive with it, I don't believe in that. You know, tracking calories isn't just tracking calories; it's how you track calories. You know, it's the same with driving. You know, driving a car isn't just driving a car, is it? You know, that's why we have a test. But there's rights and wrong ways to do anything. So it's all down to what works for you. But, you know, for me personally, to get, you know, you get someone that's struggled with their weight for 20 years, that's bounced around from fad diet to fad diet to fad diet, to bring them into a situation where they've got to track calories, they've got to track fiber, they've got to track protein, they've got to hit this, they've got to hit that, right? It can be overwhelming at times. I give my clients, I give them a calorie target and a step target. The step target is progressive, very, 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 very progressive. Anyone that's on plan will say that. They're like, yeah, you know, I average 6,000 steps a day. Neil doesn't make me, you know, I give clients that average 6,000 steps a day that have no mobility issues. The only thing why they don't do 10,000 steps a day is time and motivation. That's what I'll say. Well, I suppose time and motivation, you know, basically, I like a bit of honesty. I'm a bit of a lazy bum, right? That's the only reason you don't do 10,000 steps, right? I ramped from 6,000, 7,000 up to in 3 months, right? I increased my client steps by about 5 minutes a week in time, right? So 6,000 steps for 90% of people with no mobility issues is about 50 minutes of walking, right? And that's not specific walking. It's 50 minutes of movement, 50 minutes of doing that, whether that's around Tesco, whether that's walking through a park, whether it's walking around, it doesn't matter. It's 50 minutes of putting one foot in front of the other. That's about 6,000 steps. It doesn't matter how you do it, right? You've got to find what works for you, yeah? And to go to 10,000 steps is about 80 to 90 minutes of doing that. So if someone comes to me and says they do 6,000 steps a day and I want to get them to do 10,000, I need them on average to increase their walking by about 30 minutes a day or so. And I'll increase that at 5 minutes a week over. Now, if you're telling me that isn't a sustainable way to increase your steps, then you're kidding yourself, right? Now, if I had a client to come to me, they do why do I do a steady progression on steps? Because we need to do two things. We need to find the pockets of time to do that increase in movement, right? And number two, sometimes we need to get our body to adapt to it, right? So if I've got a client that's 25 stone that does 6,000 steps a day, that's great, right? And if they've got no mobility issues, I will ask them to increase that to 10,000 steps a day on average over 12 weeks, right? But if you are currently 25 stone, right, you're putting a lot more pressure through your body by just increasing movement. So if I said, look, you physically, even though you're 25 stone, can do 10,000 steps a day. So you're doing 6,000 now. Next week, we're going to do 10,000 a day. That extra pressure and movement, forget time and finding time and pockets to do it, will take a toll on the body. And that might mean sore legs, sore back, and that's not something we want to feel, right? But if I get my client that's 25 stone that does 6,000, the body's used to doing that because that's their current average. And I just increase that by 5 minutes a day. So 6,000 week 1, 6.5, 7.5 week 3 or 4. So, you know, the body will adapt and strengthen to it, and they're not going to find it a chore. And next thing, they'll be like, yeah, I do 10,000 steps a day. My knees don't hurt anymore. My back doesn't hurt anymore. You know, and that's it. You know, likewise, I don't overcomplicate weight loss. There's no need to. Yeah, I promote a high protein, high fiber diet, but there's no specific amount of protein you need to eat. I read over the weekend a brand new study out. So the gym bros will have you 1 gram of protein to every pound you weigh. That's a very generic target. There's been a really peer-reviewed systematic study that's come out that it's half that, nearly half. So all these people that are 200 pounds getting to eat 200 grams of protein, right? This new systematic review where they've tested several, like, massive range of different people, and they've given them the same training, the same this, that, and the other. They had some people on 0.6 grams of protein per pound of body weight. right? Or actually, they might have had some on 0.6 grams of protein per kilogram. So that's 0.3, right? And they found that it was about a gram of protein per kilogram. Actually, it was an American study, right? Or that's the metrics they used. It was a gram of protein per kilogram. Yeah, because it's ounces and pounds, isn't it? It shouldn't be grams and thingy, right? Which is basically half. So a 200-pound person, and this is for muscle building. This is nothing to do with why I promote a high protein diet. It's for suppression of appetite, and there is no set target for that. It's all subjective to the individual. The recommended RDA for protein a day, daily amounts that you should be eating for an adult, is 60 grams a day. If you're getting great appetite suppression by eating 60 grams a day, eat 60 grams a day. If it's good at 80, 80. If you're finding that you've increased your protein to 100 grams a day, you're still struggling with your appetite, increase it to 120, 130. There's no set parameters. Yeah. If you make losing weight hard, you won't stick to it. And enjoy. Exactly. Keep something simple. Keep it simple. It makes it way more sustainable. You start putting all these, and then again, it might be a get out clause with something like Team RH, where people go, this doesn't work for me. And they can turn around and go, well, you didn't eat your calories, you didn't eat your protein, you didn't eat your fiber, you didn't eat your steps. Of course, it's not work for you. It's like, well, yeah, but trying to hit all those 4 things consistently is really hard. Not if you put your mind to it. Right. Well, that's your coaching style. Right. I think it is really hard. It would absolutely. I'm as dedicated to weight loss as anyone will ever be. And if I had to hit a specific amount of calories, protein, fiber, and steps every single day, it would do my absolute tits in. Right? I wouldn't stick to it. I used to try and do that, and it is absolutely mind-numbing. Right? The recommended daily amount for fiber a day. I just eat a high fiber diet. I might look at my weekly targets, how much protein I've had, how much fiber I've had, and if I feel it's been a little bit low, I'll try and eat a bit more the next week. That's it. That's as far as I look. I don't try and hit any specific numbers. Yeah, on a day-to-day basis. Right. I've got to go. Team RH give me over 1,000 more calories than the boss, and I lost nothing. Now with the boss, I'm losing. Yeah, the calorie allowances are massive, and I think people love seeing that. But again, like I say, I'm acting like I don't know a lot about it. Just from what people have told me, just from like I've had clients that have been there before, and they've let me know. Well, Team RH gave me 2,800. You're giving me 1,800. What's the deal? I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm not asking you to do 20,000 steps a day, right? Like you're struggling to do 6,000 at the moment. How are you going to be consistent doing 20,000? Right? So if we get you up to 10,000 steps a day, I'll give you 2,000. So at the moment, we're going to start at 1,800. You start doing 10,000 steps a day consistently, we'll give you 2,000. But I'm not going to give you any more than that. I'm not going to ask you to do any more than 10,000 steps a day. If you want to do more, that's a bonus, right? But that's enough for me, right? That's enough for me. You've got a healthy, sustainable calorie allowance. You're going to be in a decent deficit. You're going to get good results, yeah? Right, let me scan up and refresh, and then I'm out of here. When you reach your ideal weight, what do you have to do to obtain it? So, when you hit your goal, I'm only going to talk about it in as a calorie counting thing because that's what I do. So, when you're losing weight, you're in a calorie deficit. You are given a calorie allowance, right, that puts you into a deficit, and you stick to it. You should know a number. If you're currently tracking calories for weight loss and you don't know this number, I guarantee your calorie allowance isn't healthy or sustainable, or isn't both of those. And that is your calorie maintenance. You should know what your maintenance is. Do you? Right? Any of my clients, they might go, I don't know. Yeah, go check your plan. If you're in the community, go check your calorie breakdown. Because I give you your calorie maintenance. I tell you exactly what I've based your calories off. I tell you, this is at the moment, with your current movement and your current weight, this is the amount of calories you burn in a day and in a week, right? And I then base your calorie allowance off that. You should know it. Everyone should know that number, right? If you don't know it, your calorie allowance is wrong. You've plucked your calories out of thin air. You've got no base, right? Your calorie maintenance is the average amount of calories you burn. And your calorie maintenance, if that is what you eat, You won't gain body fat. You won't lose body fat. Your body fat will stay the same. Your weight will always fluctuate, right? Because you'll have more. Some days you'll have more water. Some days you'll have less. Some days you'll have more food in your system. Some days you'll have less. But your body fat will stay constant, right? Maintaining your weight is not about having this set weight. What you should do is you should give yourself a swing. Might be 5%. I think that's a pretty good swing. So let's say you are 200 pounds now. Your goal weight is 150. You consistently stick to a calorie deficit to get to 150 pounds, right? What you would do then is you would move from your deficit calories to your maintenance calories, right? Now, what you need to understand is when you move from being in a calorie deficit to a calorie maintenance, you're going to be eating more food. That is going to increase water weight, food weight, and some excess water retention in your body. You need to accept that. So if your goal weight is 150, I would actually get you to go down to about 146, right? And then when we move you back into maintenance, your weight will settle at 150. Once your weight's settled at a certain amount, we then got to have this swing in our head to stop us panicking. And that swing should be a 5%. And that swing allows for fluctuations. So 5% of 150, say, is 7, right? Is about 7. So if my weight goes up to 157, anywhere between 150 and 150, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to, I've gained weight. No. Because we have fluctuations still. Increase of food weight, water weight. Likewise, if your weight goes from 150 to 143, 5% swing. We don't panic, right? You might have been ill for a few days, loss of appetite. So now, if we see and we keep on track and we're getting on the scales every couple of weeks and my weight was we've had this maintenance weight at 150, then 2 weeks later I'm 153. I'm in my 5% swing. I don't need to panic. It's just a fluctuation, right? But then in 2 weeks' time, I get on the scales and I'm at 156. So we've had 2 gains in a row. You're still within your 5%. There's no need to panic. 2 weeks later, you get on the scales and you're at 158. Now I'm above my 5% and I've had 3 gains in a row. I'm slipping. There's a very good chance I've taken my eye off the ball. Let's look back at the last 6 weeks. Yeah, I've not tracked for 6 weeks. Or, yeah, some bad habits have started to creep. Right. Then it might be a case of we need to jump back into a deficit for a month. Right? Just to rein things back in, get our focus back, bring our weight back down to that 150 marker or 1 foot, whatever. I'm sorry. If you're prone to gaining weight, if you struggle with, it's the rest of your life sort of job. Right? It's like, you're always going to have to keep on top of things. Yeah? It gets a lot easier through time. It becomes very, very subconscious through time. But you're always going to have to keep a track on things. I'm an ex-food addict, right? I'll always be an ex-food addict, right? And if I let and sometimes my eyes do slip off the prize, sometimes I do. I've got to be aware of that. I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to worry about it. I just need to accept. Even if I get to my goal weight, there's still going to be periods of time where I'll need to nip into a calorie. Just like there's always going to be periods of time where it's like Christmas. That's not going to change for the rest of my life, whether my goal is weight loss or weight maintenance. Yeah. So that's it. And so, I always recommend with my clients that if you get to your goal weight, it's up to you whether you do this or not. Stick with me for 3 to 6 months. Let's build the confidence up that you now. And I did that with 2 clients last year, towards the end of last year, earlier this year. They've hit the goal weight. They're more than happy with where they're at. Right. Let's just play about with your calories a little bit. Let's get you settled. And they got settled and they've both left the plan now. And they're like, great. And I'm like, if you ever need help in the future, if you ever feel you need a bit more account, just jump back on for a couple of months. It's all good. Yeah. Maintenance will be maintenance. I think is harder than weight loss. I think maintenance is harder than weight loss, and a lot of people struggle. You're all there. Every single person on these lives now will go, yeah, in 2014, I lost 6 stone, gained it all back. Because maintenance, you'll all be able to tell me several times where you've lost decent amount of weight, right? You'll all be able to probably tell me a couple of times where you've got to a weight where you're like, I was pretty happy then, if I'm being honest with you. I lost 4 stone on Slimming World in 2010. Why have you gained it back? Because maintenance is as hard, if not harder, than weight loss itself. And the main issue is the method, right? If you're using a method now that isn't changing things permanently, and not many fad diets will do that. You know, you might sin your food for 6 months and lose 3 stone. Great. But do you want to sin your food for the rest of your life? I don't. Right? Now, you might be sat there going, well, I don't want to count calories for the rest of your life. Well, when you count calories for so long, you won't count calories for it. You'll subconsciously just understand portion control. Now, I will track calories for the rest of my life. Why? I don't find it a chore. I find it a piece of piss. It takes a couple of minutes. I sat there for about 15 minutes last night, and I've tracked everything for the week. And now up to Friday, probably didn't even take me 15 minutes. Probably took me 10 minutes, right? And now my calorie tracking app is just my menu. I couldn't even tell you what I'm having. I know I've put breakfast in today. I know I've got no frozen fruit or yogurt, so I know it's not that. I think it's cereal with a protein shake. I think that's my breakfast this morning. I've not had it for ages. I think I put that as my breakfast this morning, and then my yogurt bowls are in tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, right? But I'll just refer to my NutriCheck. I go, that's for breakfast this morning. Actually, it's not. I'll tell you what my breakfast is this morning. It's 4 scrambled eggs and a piece of Jason's sourdough. I know that. That's what I put in. I was thinking of doing cereal and a protein shake, but I'm not doing it. I'll tell you now. Right? And I've only tracked my main meals. Any snacks that I might have, I'll put in extra. I've just tracked my main meals. Don't know why. My NutriCheck's not working on my iPad. But yeah, anyway. Oh, it might be on my thing. Oh, no, it's here. Yeah, it is. So my breakfast this morning is 4 eggs scrambled, 1 piece of Jason's sourdough, 6 grams of butter, and a Pink Lady apple. 449 calories, 37.4 grams of protein, and 4.4 grams of fiber. That's my breakfast this morning. My lunch is something I'm doing for a TikTok review. Not a TikTok review, a Worth the Calories review. Tea tonight is homemade Chinese, which is in my app, 630 calories. And then my afternoon snack is a protein shake today. I'm upping my protein this week a bit. So at the moment, I have not put in any evening snacks, but at the moment, breakfast, lunch, dinner is 1,686 calories, 137 grams of protein, and 20 grams of fiber. I will be adding a bit more to that for today. I'm going to have about 2,000 calories. Yeah. I've been at maintenance for 5 years and get weighed every day, and the fluctuations are crazy. They are, but if you've been at this for 5, you'll get used to them. You'll understand them. Yeah, you'll get used to those fluctuations, and that's what we have to do. Right, guys, I've got to go. I've done an hour and a half this morning. I was always going to do a little bit longer because I wasn't here yesterday, but I am out for today. I've got a big admin day and a big recording day. I'm back tonight. I have no idea. Has anyone got? I think I've put like a tea time live in. Maybe let me have a look at my own newsletter. Because if you don't subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe. Oh no, here's my newsletter in here. What's the date on Sunday? I know I sent myself the newsletter without me logging into my. I'm gonna have to log into my email. Let me get my email campaign up. The Real Lost Boss newsletter. Let's have a look. Yes, I have. I put a 4:30 live in. So, so 4:30 p.m. I'm going to jump back on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook for a little live. I'm here tomorrow. I'm doing an 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. So TikTok, YouTube, Facebook as the next one, because the Zoom session is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. This week's Everything Weight Loss if you're on Community or on Plan. Thursday, 9:30 a.m. Weight Loss Live, 9:30 a.m. TikTok, 11 a.m. Weight Loss Live, and then 11 a.m. and a 4:30 weekend sign off. So anyway, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter if you don't already. I always put a timetable in of what my lives are. So guys, I'm out of here. I will be back at 4:30. Might be a little bit later. Please bear with me. But I will be back this evening just for an 4:30 or 5:30, 4:15 till 5:30. Little 45-minute to an hour live just to sign off for the week. I'm also back on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Does fat loss or muscle loss occur faster. Fat loss, miles, you won't lose much unless you carry abnormal amounts of. Yes, if you go into a calorie deficit, you will go what we call catabolic, where you will lose some muscle mass as well as body fat. But unless you carry abnormal amounts of muscle mass, it is extremely slow. Right, extremely slow, like nothing that'd register on the body. Now, if you're a person that goes to the gym all the time, you lift weights, it could be a little bit quicker because you carry more than average muscle mass. But just make sure you prioritize your protein in your calorie deficit, and you'll hardly lose any. Yeah. Right, I am out of here. Right, TikTok, I'm signing off to you first. Have a great day, and I will be back in like 6-7 hours, something like that. And then you lovely people over here, YouTube, Facebook. Again, yeah, I'll be back in 6 or 7 hours. So if you're free, you can come and see me a little bit later on. If I don't see you, I will be back tomorrow morning. Have a great Tuesday.